South African Arm Wrestling Federation are building arm wrestling sport with a significant amount of wrestlers every single year. Arm wrestlers in the whole entire world are in fact trying to get Olympic status. In order to make that possible, where they have to build that sport up in quantities in every town, every province, and in every country. Now, the South African Arm Wrestling Federation wants to build and introduce arm wrestling in schools as a school sport. And with that, they will build the sport to the next level, where, of course, they will be doing inter-school competitions, where the plan is to build up into sport, doing provincial school competition, as well as into the South African Championships. Joining us in studio to unpack is President of Roxburgh Arm Wrestling Club and Vice President of the South African Arm Wrestling Federation, Francois Vizenino. Good morning. Thank you for joining us, Francois.
Morning. Thanks for being here.
Arm wrestling. The concept of it, I know it was that sport we used to play at school for fun. I mean, walk us through the intricacies of the sport as it currently stands in South Africa.
Currently, we're not that big. We as arm wrestlers see it as big, and we want to grow it every year. Everybody has interest in arm wrestling, and they don't see it as a sport. But nobody knows it's actually a sport where they actually just want to defeat each other. And with the sport itself, we have a lot of rules. And with the old times when they always broke their arms and have a lot of injuries, we as a sport has qualified referees that's trained to look after the guys so that they don't do it in dangerous positions.
As you know, well, as we all know, sport is a discipline, and so there's also a science behind it. I mean, the injuries that come about is evident to that as well. What are some of those disciplines one learns during the sport of arm wrestling?
Well, firstly you have to listen. If you have the discipline to be there, if you love the sport, you will listen to what you have to do. But the most important is to arm wrestle and practice on the table. It's like when you're driving bicycle, you know how to do it perfectly.
Yes.
So the more you do it, the longer you do it, the better you do it.
Okay. And so in terms of preparation and requirements, I mean, one would think it's about brute and strength, but I know a lot of people also have inner core strength, which might help them. In your experience, what do you reckon is the best requirements for entering the sport?
Well, basically, you have to be on the table every week to practice on the table itself. In between you do the gym part with the smaller type of muscles in your arms. We call it condition. Normally a guy that arm wrestles more than about 3 years, he's almost more conditioned, and it will most likely break than a new guy that starts to arm wrestle. Like if your arm isn't made to go too much to the back. So if it goes there, a new guy needs about 10 kilograms to break if you do it wrong. And the thing is, everybody says, yes, that guy broke the other guy's arm, but in actual fact, you're breaking your own arm because you go to the dangerous position.
And so in terms of incorporating it into, you know, you mentioned the provincial league, eventually getting it to South African champion status and Olympic status as well. What are the blocks that are hindering you at this point to get it recognized in such a manner?
At this stage, because we're not so big, we have our SA championships. We want to bring in the schools in the future, that they are our future, the younger guys.
Yes.
Eventually, all the old guys will be out. We need to build up a new generation of arm wrestlers. So, in order for us to build the sport, we need sponsors.
Yes.
We have a sponsor, a big sponsor. Our biggest one is TW Profile, but I mean, it can't do the whole of South Africa.
Sure.
But so the more sponsors we get, the more we can grow the sport.
And also interest in it as a professional sport will also come into play. So I know from high school, primary school as well, the basic entry-level rules. You've mentioned there are referees, qualified referees that operate in this space. What are some of those rules and regulations that participants have to adhere to?
Well, the first is you have to know your rules, where your dangerous positions are, for what you're going to get fouls for.
Yes.
All that type of things are man-made. Because of arms that broke, there's a rule why you shouldn't arm wrestle like that. And what's the safe ways you must do it and everything. And in the schools, the children are always doing it in class as well. So on that point, you take the sports guy in the school, he can be trained and he can train the children. They will get their testosterone out after school on a real table, and they have rules and everything there. So it will minimize the injuries in the class, and it will take it over to the real sport, and they will know what to do.
Francois, this is your passion. Why do you do what you do? Why do you enjoy the sport? Why are you advocating so hard for it to become a national and international interest?
I do things on the square. It depends on how your life goes on the square. And for everything in your life, there's a lot of small sports in South Africa that doesn't get support. And everybody needs a chance in life. So we also are a small sport. So I like to build up something like that. Then it's the same like someone is good in life, but he doesn't have a chance in life because funding or a lack of interest from his support and so on. So I would like to, even in South Africa with the Arnold Classics, we had a discussion also that we also want to expand all the smaller sports.
Well, should people want to contact you and find out more information, how do they go about doing that? On social media or just any other platform you have?
We have social media, a website, South African Arm Wrestling Federation, and Roxburgh Arm Wrestling Club on Facebook. They are more than welcome to phone me there. So contact me, my number is on there.
All right.
I will, even 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll answer.
You'll answer. In conclusion, what is the best advice you have for people who want to enter the sport or curious about it? What would you impart to them listening today?
Firstly, they have to really go and see what it's about. Everybody thinks that it's only arm wrestling. You just sit there with your arm and you arm wrestle, but there's a lot of rules into it. They really have to go and see that there's a lot of technique and ways you have to arm wrestle. It's not just about you put your arm there and you wrestle.
Francois, thank you very much for joining us in the studio. We wish you all the best with your future endeavors. I'm sure when you get back, you will update us on the progress of your vision. But as it's very evident, there's a dream, and it's due to virtues of discipline and hard work and just empowering the youth as you continue to grow and hand over the baton to the future generations. So we wish you all the best, and Luta continua. Can't wait to see South Africa on top.
Yes, thanks.
Of course, we were joined in studio by the president of Roxburgh Arm Wrestling Club and the